Welcome back to the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I will be talking about the stunning upset that Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars put on the Buffalo Bills. But before we get into that, make sure that you subscribe to our channel if you have not already. Hit that notification bell so you can see when we create new content. Like this video, comment on this video, and let us know your thoughts. And Ryan, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
And Ryan, we want to make a disclaimer. Normally, when we do game reviews, we watch a majority of the game. By majority, we mean like 50, 55 plus minutes, keeping up with it and everything. I think I can speak for Ryan and myself that going into today, this was not even on our agenda to talk about. I didn't watch a lick of this game until you texted me that like the Jacksonville beat the Bills. I'm like, I looked at the score and I'm like, holy shit, 9-6. Like, what the
Yeah,
hell happened? And the Bills,
yeah.
I've been talking. Like, I still think the Bills are one of the best teams in the league. I mean, it's every team has an off week, but this is a shocking upset. And you watched a little bit of the game, so I want you to talk a little bit about what you saw. But for me, the biggest thing is the playoff implication right now, as we are now halfway through the season. This is week 9. And kind of what this means going
Yeah.
forward for the Bills and the AFC East.
Well, so first off, to kind of touch on the game, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, which had been one of the worst in the league coming into the game,
Uh-huh.
uh, they took a year, I think, off of Josh Allen's career. I mean, they from what I watched, they were in the backfield just about every play. They had 8 quarterback hits, 6 sacks. They had even like numerous hurries. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a little crazy. They had 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, and then at the end of the game, they should have actually had a 4th turnover. It was kind of a bullshit call
Yeah.
by the referee to call forward progress to give the Bills like a 4th and 18. But anyways, that's beyond the point. The Jaguars still won.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they dominated, and kind of what they allowed the Bills to do was just not string together big plays. So they would let the Bills gain like 15 yards, and then they would hold them to they wouldn't let them do it again on that drive, and then they made them punt, and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
just just played really good down to down football.
Mm-hmm.
And it was impressive. Their offense didn't really do a whole lot. Granted, you get 3 turnovers and you only put up 9 points. That's a little
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
uh, kind of telling right there. But look, this is a big win. It puts the Bills in kind of an interesting spot going into the back half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so right now, the Bills are only half a game up on New England. New England's 5-4. The Bills are 5-3.
Yeah.
Uh, and it kind of makes it interesting because now not only does it throw New England in the race for the division, but it also puts the Buffalo Bills potentially in what's a really messed up and mixed up AFC wildcard race. Right now, there
Oh,
are 12 teams
yes.
that are playoff contenders in the
Mm-hmm.
AFC, and obviously, as the season goes on, that'll kind of slim down to nine nine teams maybe like that are really
Yeah.
vying for a spot at the end. But
Yeah.
who knows? But the way the season has gone, it's been insane.
It's
So
absolutely insane, and that's my biggest takeaway. With this, it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, we could talk about Jacksonville like moving up a little bit in the draft order rankings, but I mean, that's something we'll talk about later on in the season once we have a better understanding on who the number 1 overall pick is going to be. But when talking with the Bills, I mean, they do, fortunately enough for them, have 2 games left with the Jets. They play the Jets next weekend. Um, they have all the NFC South teams to play, which is going to be beneficial for them. But they
mhm,
got to play the Patriots twice as well. Like, so,
mhm.
I agree with you completely on this. Brings them into the fold of potentially not making the playoffs. Like, I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I still have them as the favorite to win the AFC East, but it's not a
Mhm.
lock as we thought it was going into the season. I
Yeah,
mean,
they definitely have some weaknesses.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, 100%. And I noticed this last week too, because when they beat Miami, that should have been a game that they just absolutely destroyed Miami with. And of course, it's
Mhm.
hard to look at the score, but like they were once again that like similar to this week, they were tied with Miami for a long time in that game, going deep into the quarter. Deep in the second half, I think it was 3-3 or like 6-6 or something like that. And the final score was 26-11, but that was with a couple of late touchdowns that kind of just helped improve their lead. But it's very shocking, honestly, because the Bills going in the season and the way they played earlier on in the year would have thought that they were for sure number one seed. But now, as you mentioned, it's going to be interesting just to see where they end up in the division, and then also just in the overall playoff rankings.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, they're half a game up on New England. They still have a relatively tough schedule left. Let's take a look at that real
Well,
quick.
that's what I'm saying. So they next week with the Jets, and then they end the season with the Jets.
Yeah,
But they play the Falcons, Panthers, and Saints in between that time.
yeah,
They can win those games. But then they got the Colts, Patriots twice, and the Buccaneers. Those are four tough games because the Colts are
yeah.
vying for a playoff spot, and the Patriots are vying for a playoff spot now. Potential
And those
division
division
win.
games are always tough.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Mhm.
And Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they're going to want to try and get up as many wins as they can, so they
Yeah,
get a higher playoff
and
seeding.
they have to go to the Buccaneers, which is a big deal. They're not going to get to play
Mm-hmm.
in is it New Era Stadium or New Era Field? Wherever. They're not going to get to play in Buffalo
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for that game, which is a big deal. But the biggest thing for me, I think over the past couple of weeks, the Bills, their offensive line has been fairly shaky.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Chiefs last year. I think they've had some injury issues, but overall in pass protection, especially today against the Jaguars, who have a relatively average pass rush, they really weren't able to stop any of
Yeah.
those pass rushers.
Yeah.
Uh, Again,
Well,
like I said,
that's the thing
ATV
that
gets
sticks
6
out to
sacks.
me.
So,
That's the thing that sticks out to me is they only had 301 yards of total offense. And
mhm.
against this Jacksonville team, which I think ranks almost last or close to last in every category, maybe
They're
not
about
as
average. I was just looking at it.
they're about average. See, I would think in the
Yeah.
passing game, I think they're up there as one of the worst. The same with the run.
They
Like the
are it doesn't actually give me a number. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, hold on.
okay,
Yeah, it looks like they're a little below average.
okay, okay. But still, with this Bills offense, and we could just chalk it up to an off day today. But I think combine it with
Mhm.
last week as well. It's just interesting to see, and I guess something to keep an eye on, especially as they go up against the Jets next week, another team that they should just demolish. And
Yeah.
so,
But I mean, who knows? Zach Wilson could be coming back next week, and the Bills are kind of hitting a little bit of a rut. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm as a participant in the AFC East race. I'm excited to keep watching this, and yeah, I see if this trend continues with the Bills. So,
yeah,
do you have anything else to add?
no, nothing here. Something to
All
keep
right.
monitoring.
Yeah, definitely monitoring.
Monitoring.
Uh, But I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Tracy Take. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on if you think the Bills can turn this year around. And we will talk to you guys next time.